Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Day's Podcast along with another video. So I know it's been a while. It is May. I know we talked about a few things, whether it's astrology, the houses, the moons. And now, with a recent video that I did talking about Beyonce, I would like to talk about another artist. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about some different artists here, okay? So, this artist that I'm going to talk about, she's very special to me. Most artists are, but she's very special to me. And why is because she sang a very special song called Simple and Clean that came out in 2002 for a game that I am very much addicted to. It doesn't matter what they come out with, it's Disney, I love it. We're talking about Hikaru Utada. Hikaru, however you want to go about it, but her name's Hikaru Utada. And I'll say Utada because that's where most people, even when she had her English releases, that was her name too. She has done so much in the last 25 years. This woman can just undoubtedly, I'm just going to say this because she's a Japanese singer, songwriter, and producer, and is one of the most influential, best-selling musicians in Japan. Okay? So mind you, because, I can read up all different facts on different things, but this isn't like a biography. This is just me just appreciating an artist and what they've done. So let me go back, because I only had said she for those to know that I'm talking about the entity of the gender. So in time that we're in right now, Hikaru Utada, I'm sorry. They, them, their music, we're talking non-binary terms, respectfully. They, them, their music is everything to me. Very special. And they started at a young age. They have multiple albums, 2 English and more than 7 Japanese albums. They work, okay? Capricorn energy. So them, excuse me for those that may be non-binary, where I'm still learning to be able to say they and them. They have released music since they were very young. And I know their backstory pretty much. More or less on a personal life for them. They were married twice. Their first marriage lasted maybe 4 to 5 years with someone that was working with her heavily on her music at the time. And shortly after, from their divorce, she took some time off. And she said, I'm going to do something different. I want to be able to make things easier on my end now. So without further ado, I want to be able to talk more on their discography and just where they are now. They have a son, and I believe their son was born in 2015. So their son will be 10 next year, but they'll be 9 this year. And so, yes, bilingual, speaks English and Japanese fluently, can speak English and jump right into Japanese, like, all right, well, this is what's the next part of the sentence I'm about to say, like, knows how to talk, okay? And when it came to touring, She did quite a few tours. Um, they stemmed throughout the 2000s, going into 2010s. Though the 2000s was heavily her biggest like time. Now she casually puts out music, goes number one, because she's a legend. Because they're a legend. They're a legend, and let's start from the beginning. So they first had an English album back in '98, which I was able to listen to and was like, wow, they're singing English, like this is, and they're so young, and you know, at the time in '98 you had, you know, different artists here that were already branching and had their own, you know, promotion to gravitate to the masses. So she took what she was, they took what they were doing and decided to turn it into something much bigger. First Love, their first album, legendary. Just forget it. No one was seeing them. Period. No one was seeing them. They came out literally early '99. This is in the midst of the time where everyone's kind of doing promotion and not really thinking of March '99. But yes, it shows that, you know, they were working on this album in August of '98 and finished by the end of '98. So throughout '98, this album was worked on, and I can feel '98 in it, in parts of '99, where I'm just like, oh my god, like, yes. And it's all in Japanese. And there's, you know, English sentiments in there too. This album, so let's talk about it. This album is the best-selling album in Japan of all time. Yes, of all time. So we have Michael, the King of Pop, best-selling thriller album, best-selling album of all time, just untouched. Them, Hikaru, best-selling album in Japan of all time. Male, female, does not matter. Best-selling album of all time. When First Love came out, nothing but bangers. Nothing but bangers. It's automatic. And then she had First Love, you will always gonna be. It's just they did, oh my god, so much. I'm moving on without you. Just so much. And I'm not even looking at the songs. I just know their music. And they even put Reptar in there. I see a Reptar and I want to paint it black. They put Reptar in this album. You know, Rugrats should have had a little cute video with Rugrats. That would have been everything. A black Reptar coming out of nowhere and she's there singing, just oh my god. So, like I said, legendary. Their second album, Distance, also legendary. It's actually, I believe, the fourth or second. I think it's the second best-selling album of all time, too. When I believe so, because it's either 1, 4, and 8 or 1, 2, and 4, but best-selling albums. Let's see. Yes. Let's just say this, right? So their first 3 albums literally are the best-selling albums in the top 10 of all time in Japan. Her first 3. Undisputedly, just legend all around. Just you know 3 of these albums are her first, just impact. And as we're going into like the download era where MP3s are a thing, sales from all artists was starting to go low. But I will tell you, Deep River, After Distance, that was that album. See, Distance was her most vocal, her most like intuitive. Like, it starts out with wait and see, and then you have Can You Keep a Secret, and then there's, oh my god, guys, you have to listen to them. And Distance, the title track. So Distance originally was a song that was very happy, still is very happy, and longing for someone that you want to be with. And there was a turnover moment in 2001 for multiple things. We lost people. We lost a very special artist, Aaliyah. In Japan, there was a massacre, and at this time, Aaliyah was still alive, but they released, Hikaru released Final Distance. And it's pretty much Distance, but its counterpart, its twin, its dark side, its moment of, oh my god, I can't be with you type thing. And Distance is more of a hope, like, you're here, like, we're gonna be with each other again. But when you hear Final Distance, there's not that certainty, and you feel the when they recorded this Final Distance in the midst of working on Deep River, you hear the sense of where her vocals was not even, like, they were just getting started. So when you hear Final Distance, you're like, oh my god. And at the time when it was released as a single, it went number 2 out there in Japan. It really sold. It was so sad. And it's still one of my favorite songs of all time. And at the time that I actually was able to hear it for the first time, I was about 12, 13. Because, you know, at the time, 12, 13 for me is 2006, 2007. So by then, we have Exodus, which is their English album, which came out in September of 2004. I was already 10. Kingdom Hearts already came out. They were already legendary for just the opening and ending tracks for that game, which is still to this day selling millions and millions of copies and streaming worldwide. So Exodus was her wanting people to see that they can be able to do both, and I'm happy they did it. You know, it went number 1 in Japan because it's them. As far as out here, we were kind of like, all right, you know, Utada. And I hate that people felt like that for them, because let them had put Simple and Clean on as a bonus track at that time, they would have been like, oh, that's who this is. Because at the time, 2003, 2004, you know, we're taking in all these new artists and people going solo, and they were already solo. So Ultra Blue was what came out by 2006, and this was the album for them where they were back in Japan. And I can't say whether the promotion was their best for this album or even Heart Station, which came out in 2008, because we really was in that digital era of people downloading stuff. So it was just like, you know, sales and people yearning to care about an artist was like, I got their music, bye. It was horrible. It's still horrible. And that's why it's so restricted in the sense of streaming, because it's like, yeah, get a subscription. Buy the album. Watch it on YouTube. You know, listen, at the time, you couldn't not have somebody's music. You just couldn't. And I respected their music more where I had their albums on my computers because I had multiple. I had to make sure. And This Is the One by 2009 was them making a stance saying, I'm back in the US. Here's another English album. But this particular album is going to also have the songs that people know me for, which is Sanctuary, which came out in the midst of Ultra Blue, but it wasn't added to Ultra Blue because we had gotten Passion. So Passion and Sanctuary, similar to Simple and Clean and Hikari, however you can say it. But Hikari came out in 2002. We're going to take it back a little bit. That is the Japanese version for Simple and Clean. So with Passion being the Japanese version for Sanctuary, there's no Kingdom Hearts fan out there that don't know these songs. They are legendary. So when we didn't get those songs on albums at the time, it was like, all right, we got the song. But now, if you look on streaming services, they're in their respected places. You'll see Sanctuary, whether it's under Ultra Blue or if it's under This Is the One, because that's the time it came out. It needs to be pieced in. And then as far as with Simple and Clean, same thing. You can see it where it's under This Is the One, or it can possibly be under Deep River. But if it's not under Deep River, it's definitely under This Is the One. But these songs were released as singles too in that time in the 2000s, and I gotta say people were happy. It makes more sense to have it in a cohesive project because they're her song. They're their songs, and I'm happy now that it's put together. And so talking about the albums I just named, because I want to make sure we keep in tabs. So like I said, Deep River, legendary. Like in the top 10 legendary of Japan for music. And as far as just Final Distance being like the opener, like, all right, sad moment. They came back with Traveling. Why don't you just take me out? Like, listen, you got to get into them because I'm telling you, even just Sakura Drops, and you have the title track, Deep River, just so much passion that wasn't able to fully be grasped in Distance, because Distance wasn't lighthearted, but it definitely got to the point. And as far as with Exodus, it was very experimental with English lyrics, I will say, because there were certain things that people weren't really talking about that you would think they could be sung, and they took it there. Hikaru Utada, they took it there. And with Ultra Blue, it was more, I will say this was more synthesizing, and it feels like you feel the future coming in with this album, because even though it's 2006, when you look at that being 18 years ago, and when you put that on, you say to yourself, this could have came out in the pandemic, because it's futuristic. The sounds and the way that the instruments come in, it's just same thing with Heart Station. And so after Heart Station, where because Ultra Blue, they had Colors, which was a single that came out in the midst of Deep River, and they had singles that would come out and people loved them, and over time they would put it on the album that would be placed for that particular single. And now looking back, it makes more sense, and it made more sense for them to take a break, which they did. So by 2010, 2011, there was a compilation album that came out from them, and along with a compilation album that came out even earlier, as of 2004, 2005, pretty much, because they were transitioning to go into Ultra Blue and from an English album. But then it was like, no, you got hits. These first 3 albums all got hits. All your singles are damn near hits. So we need to have a compilation album. So that compilation album took that legend. You think the compilation album would be in the top 10 too, because it's all the hits that were within the albums, but it was getting close. It was getting close. And so when they took a break, I gotta say, by 2012, there was a song, Sakura Nagashi. I was in college, and I remember first hearing it, and I instantly cried because I didn't understand at first the tone, but the build up into the end of them expressing the sense of just life and the joy and appreciating it. It really hit. And that was a song that we as fans sat with for about 4 years. They didn't come back till 2015, where there was a new song and it was random. Oh, I gotta say, maybe, yeah. We was trying to understand, well, wait, you are you back? And they came back. They came back and they became a mother. They were married and they lived a bit. And Fantome, I'm not sure how to say this album title. 2016 fall, when they came back, breath of fresh air. We were like, oh my God. Fans of them were just, yes, she's back. They're back. Sorry. I'm sorry. They mean so much to me. So I'm making sure I can just articulate the best way I can for respectively appreciating their craft and who they are. And Hatsukoi, which came out in 2018 soon after. So these 2 albums was a very big transition for them because they had lost their parent, and music at this time was becoming really tense because all these new artists are coming out. Everyone's kind of singing and doing what they feel they would like to do, and artistry, it takes you to kind of separate yourself and not really worry about what the next person is doing, to kind of stand out and have your own voice. And they're very skilled at that. So for them taking a hiatus in such a time where we would have wanted more was great. And so with this transition, being able to hear an insight to Kingdom Hearts 3, with another album that had a track that mirrors Don't Think Twice, because that's the English track for it. It was just relieving because, as we get older, these things matter, like we and then when they came back 4 years after with Bad Mode, that let us know, okay, whatever you even have that could be unreleased, you can put it out. It's gonna go #1. It's okay, because we love you, and that's the best thing about when you become really successful as an artist and you've made so much music in such long, in over 25 years, and that vault is big. So that's why I'm just like, they can put out whatever they want and we'll love it, because why not? Why not? And I feel like that's what it becomes with artistry too, like where people feel like, damn, like, is it all right? Like, do I need to put this out? And it's like, yes, put this out. Put it out. So they recently had came out with another compilation as of last month, which I'm very happy about because it stems from 98 to now. So no, ain't nobody gonna not know who they are as of now, because there's a compilation of their hits. Um, so what they did is they remastered, did a re-recording for a few songs. They did a re-recording for, honestly, yeah, throughout. Just there's ballad versions, there's 24 mixes. And I think it's them wanting people to know, these songs that you guys love. I can go right into them like I never left, and I don't see why not. There's so much that I feel like, oh, I didn't even know they did letters. See, they did letters. Letters is from Deep River. Letters is literally more of a sense of letting someone know, we can still communicate. But for some reason you don't feel as confident to. The words are telling me that you'll never ever leave me. Then you go ahead and leave me. What the hell is going on? Those are literally the lyrics at the end of the song. And then the other part is tell me that you'll. Oh, sorry. The other part is tell me that you really, really love me. Tell me that you really, really love me. Yep. Then you go ahead and leave me. What the hell did I go wrong? Yeah. She goes there. They go there. They go there. So it's just science fiction. Get into it. Great album. Great compilation. So I hope that I've been able to uncover who Hikaru Utada is and their music, and I truly appreciate their craft. From all their albums, I've been able to talk about each and every single one of them. But like I said, the ones that came out in the 2000s, which besides First Love, which was 99, but we're talking Distance, Deep River, Ultra Blue, Heart Station. Y'all need to go and stream and go listen to those. For those that are still, like, those that are young or wanted to be able to know a perspective on a sense of just Japan, where you have an understanding. There's a song called Tokyo Nights in Deep River alone. So, yes, get into it. And then as far as their recent releases, whether it's from 2016 with Fantome, or even just Hatsukoi, that came out in 2018, and even just for Bad Mode, those 3 releases too. Stream them. This is the growth of a brilliant artist, like most, and I truly appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back with another episode.